is going on, everybody? It's your boy Dylan the Villain, and we're coming back at you once again with another Totally Extreme Wrestling video. We are less than 7 days away from one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, King of the Ring. One of my favorite personal pay-per-views, King of the Ring. A lot of awesome, famous matches happen at King of the Ring, and I'm excited to book King of the Ring and crown a King of the Ring winner. As we know, the King of the Ring winner will face the heavyweight champion at SummerSlam, and I cannot wait for that. And an abysmal, but we're going to go ahead. We are here in the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we are going to kick off the pre-show with the Old School Express taking on America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm. Two tag teams in our developmental, seeing where everybody is at and on their stats wise and everything. And Chris Candido and Steve Corino defeat Chris Harris and James Storm when Chris Candido defeat Chris Harris with a blonde bombshell. He carried the match in-ring performance. Of course, he got a 49. I mean, we can pretty much call Chris up to the main roster right now if we wanted to. He was penalized because he's going through those personal issues, having that divorce from Sonny. They showed excellent tag team chemistry teaming together. Chris Harris and James Storm. Well, funny enough, the match got a 39. And we are going to move on to our next segment. But before we move on to our next segment, the Trash Man, Duke Marshall, comes out and he basically challenges anybody that wants to come out to a trash match, which is basically a hardcore match, but it's basically a hardcore match, fancy word for a hardcore match. And how Mike Awesome's music hits, and Mike Awesome comes out, he gives him a big boot, he grabs him, he fucking power bombs him through a table on the outside, he pins him 1, 2, 3, less than a minute. Mike Awesome just fucking dominates Marshall Duke. 42. And Mike Awesome with a 56 and Marshall Duke with a 32. Mike Awesome benefited having from a new move, and color commentary gave the match a boost. We're going to go ahead and start Monday Night Raw. And like I said before, tonight is going to be a special night here for Monday Night Raw. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the first time that Raw is being broadcast from Las Vegas. And we're going to do something a little bit special. I like to gamble. Everybody likes the roulette wheel. So tonight will be Raw Roulette. Every single one of these matches tonight will be determined by a spin of a wheel. We have some awesome matches that will be determined by the spin of a wheel here tonight. Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon are basically backstage in their office, and they're talking about Raw Roulette. We also have a big hype package debuting, showing off the Final Four and how they got to the Final Four of the Intercontinental Champion Triple H, Owen Hart, Kurt Angle, and The Rock. The Final Four of the King of the Ring, basically displaying their journey and how all four of these men are connected in one big rivalry for the King of the Ring. The King of the Ring winner also, like I said earlier, will receive a World Heavyweight Championship title match, becoming the King of the Ring at SummerSlam. And we also, last Shotgun Saturday night, we've seen the return of HBK Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels basically said that the title, the World Heavyweight Championship that he vacated, he wants his title back. And that champion is Bret Hart. We already know the long history and storied rivalry between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. I don't even know if I can book the match because these two men hate each other. I don't even know if they'll cooperate in the ring with each other. But hopefully they work together long enough to put on one hell of an awesome match at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. At the King of the Ring, it will be Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. But let's go ahead and get on with the show. Our opening segment will not be determined by the spin of a wheel. But our openings, I'm sorry, I apologize on that one. We have a segment, and it is Bret Hart, and he walks into Vince McMahon's Hopefully it didn't skip the opening match. One time it did, but I don't think it did. Hopefully it didn't skip the match. But we see Bret Hart, and he's in the Vince McMahon's office. And he's saying how it's not fair that he has to defend his championship title against Shawn Michaels after having already defended his title twice in 1 week. Shane basically tries to talk Vince out of the match, and Vince is like, no, a promise is a promise. I promise Shawn Michaels the match. Upon his return, he's getting his match, all that stuff. And Bret's just like, well, Shawn, he has a little bit of ring rust. Why don't he have a warm-up match? And Vince is like, well, who do you have in mind? Bret suggests Davey Boy Smith. Shane's like, that's an excellent idea. Vince agrees. So tonight's main event will be Shawn Michaels versus Davey Boy Smith. And Bret says, why don't we make it a little bit interesting and spin that roulette wheel? They spin the roulette wheel, and tonight's main event will be a Shawn Michaels versus Davey Boy Smith. Nobody from D-Generation X, nobody from the Hart Foundation able to interfere in the match. They will be locked inside of a cage. Bret Hart is basically licking his lips like a lion. He knows that that Davey Boy is about to dominate Shawn Michaels in this cage, and Shawn Michaels is going to be easy picking for him at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. But we are going to have to see in tonight's main event. Segment got 100. Bret Hart looked good. Bret Hart performed great without a script. Bret Hart with a hot new catchphrase, color commentary, and announcing gave the match a boost. We move on to, I believe, is our opening contest. If not, then I'll tell y'all the opening contest. Yes, this match was not determined by the spin of a wheel. Our opening contest of the night is Bob Holly taking on Billy Gunn, and Bob Holly defeats Billy Gunn by pinfall with a Falcon's Arrow. The match got a 60. Not bad for both these men, especially that Bob Holly has a 54 and Billy Gunn with a 56. Bob Holly once again picking up the momentum. As y'all seen, Bob Holly had a big push. He was a part of the King of the Ring, but he ended up losing his match against Triple H. We move on to the next segment of the night, and we see Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon in their office, and in walk Crush and Bomb, and they say that they want a match, that they heard that they have a match tonight against the APA, and they want to know what kind of match it's going to be. They spin the wheel to find out it's a barroom brawl match. Both men look at each other and go, yeah, we like to drink, and we definitely know APA likes to drink, and all that. And then Vince basically says, well, you can find APA in their office. Crush and Bomb then go to the office. They don't even knock on the door. They just open the door, and the match is underway. In a terrible match. Oh, my God. APA defeats Bomb and Crush when Farouk pinned Bomb with the denominator. The match got a 54. That's terrible. Farouk sustained a ligatory collateral ligament sprain. Hopefully that's not a bad thing. Match got a 54. Farouk and Bradshaw pick up the win. Thank you, Sergeant Slaughter and Crush. Oh man. Hopefully it's not a serious injury. As y'all seen from watching, oh God, I want to say it was Edge is injured. I can't remember what episode it was. Edge got injured. I'm bolt recording here. Edge got injured, and Edge is going to be out for a little while. So that sucks. That definitely sucks. But this segment got an 87. We see Jeff Jarrett. He walks into the office, and he goes, I heard I had a match tonight. Vince is like, that you do. That you do. He's like, and they pull out a special wheel, and the wheel has like a whole bunch of names on it, ranging from Doink the Clown, Sergeant Slaughter, Brooklyn Brawler, you know, a whole bunch of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a whole bunch of legends from the past. And Jeff Jarrett's like, what is this? And Vince goes, well, tonight, I figured that we would give you a mystery opponent, Jeff. You've been climbing up the ranks here in the WWF. Your momentum got a little bit, you lost a little bit of momentum losing your match for the King of the Ring, but we have high hopes for you, and we picture you one day being a champion here of the World Wrestling Federation. And Jeff's like, Well, that's great. That's awesome. What's up with the will? Vince is like, well, tonight, since you have a mystery opponent, we're going to let you spin the wheel. And whoever it lands on will be your opponent here tonight. And Jeff Jarrett's just like, are you serious? Like, I don't even have time to prepare. I don't even know who I'm fighting. That's not fair to me. Vince is just like, well, we believe you're a high-class competitor here. Every professional athlete here in the World Wrestling Federation is a top tier. We don't sign second-class wrestlers. We only sign the best of the best. Jeff kind of gets a little bit confident. He spins the wheel. And the camera, it doesn't show who it lands on. You know, like the camera zooms out to where it just shows Jeff's face and Vince and everybody. You know, it doesn't show the wheel. And Jeff, it stops, and Jeff goes, well, ain't this just perfect? And Vince is like, well, good luck in your match tonight. And Jeff's like, yeah, okay. So Jeff Jarrett walks out to the ring. He already knows who his opponent is. He walks out. He's the first one to come out. And all of a sudden, Mr. Perfect's music hits, and it's the return of Mr. Perfect in a good match. Jeff Jarrett defeats Mr. Perfect in 7:45 by pinfall. Match got a 67. Jeff Jarrett with almost an 80, and Mr. Perfect with almost a 70. Mr. Perfect debuted his coffee gimmick, and it is great. He debuts his Mr. Perfect gimmick, and Mr. Perfect is back here in the World Wrestling Federation. Curt Hennig, he has come back to compete against Jeff Jarrett. Will we see more of Mr. Perfect in the future? Only time will tell. We will find out. But Jeff Jarrett picks up a win here tonight. We go on to move on to the next segment. And Dwayne Gill walks into the office. We go to commercial. We come back, and we see Vince and Shane talking about how much a success the Raw Roulette thing was, and that they might have to do this more often. And Dwayne Gill just comes in the office, and he goes, you know what? He goes, no, Shawn Michaels is not going to get a championship title match at King of the Ring. It's going to be me. I'm the rightful number one contender. And they're like, whoa, look, buddy. All right? You keep going around, and you keep saying that you're the rightful number one contender, but we don't even remember you winning the championship. And we talked to Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette doesn't even have an idea who you are. Jim Cornette said he remembers some guy who was his client that ended up getting hurt, but other than that, we don't know who he is. And he goes, well, you know what? No. You see this championship right here? Right? You see this championship right here? I am the true World Heavyweight Champion of the World Wrestling Federation. I've never been beat. I've never been tapped, submitted. I've never lost my match here in the World Wrestling Federation. Since winning the Royal Rumble, I haven't lost a single match. And you know what? I'm going to keep on that winning streak. I'm going to keep on that winning streak tonight. And if anybody wants to face me for this championship, the Rifle Championship, 24/7. I'll defend this title 24/7. Anything goes, anywhere, anytime, any place. If I'm taking a crap and you attack me and you want this championship, then so be it. And Vince is just like, I like that. I like that idea. You know what? Yeah. I hereby certify your championship as a championship that could be won here in the World Wrestling Federation. Dwayne Gill stands there for a minute and he's like, what? Vince is like, yeah, I like that idea. You want to be a champion so bad? Huh? I like a good fighting champion. I like champions who are willing to defend their title any place, anytime. And you seem like a fighting champion. So tonight, you will defend your, what can I call it? 24/7 title against Psycho Sid. And Dwayne Gill's just like, well, I wanted to call it the Hardcore. And Vince is like, yeah, 24/7. That sounds like the perfect name for your title. He's like, I hear it. I'll certify your championship as the 24/7 championship. You can defend it any place, anytime, right? And Dwayne Gill's like, yeah, I'll defend it any place, anytime. And Shane's just like, well, I got the perfect opponent for you. Somebody who's willing to win championships here and willing to fight you any place, anytime, anything goes. And that man's Psycho Sid. And Dwayne Gill kind of stands there and he's just like, what the fuck, Psycho Sid? Psycho Sid, are you serious? And they're like, well, good luck tonight, Dwayne. Yeah, Mr. Gill, you're going to need it. So Dwayne Gill is walking to the ring, and all of a sudden Psycho Sid just runs up behind him and just fucking hits him. Boom! Like if Psycho Sid was just waiting in the hallway for him. And we get that match. In an exceptional match, Dwayne Gill defeats Psycho Sid in a hardcore match in 13:23 by pinfall. He uses some underhand tactics to pick up the win. Dwayne Gill makes defense number 2 of the WWF 24/7 title. Dwayne Gill with the 91 and Psycho Sid with a 92. The match only got an 80. I don't know why. Probably the lack of psychology and them going on. Let's look at the dirt sheet and find out why. Awful gimmick by Dwayne Gill, and segment penalized for psychology. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Dwayne Gill uses some underhand tactics to beat Psycho Sid. He basically, the whole match, Psycho Sid, kind of like the Vader match, Psycho Sid's just beating the shit out of him. And the referee ends up counting the 3. He ends up winning the match. But after the match, Psycho Sid is not done. And he goes to attack Dwayne Gill, but Dwayne Gill already took off running. And he's chasing after. And all of a sudden, it's the Big Show. And Big Show goes to Psycho Sid. They're fighting. They're going at it. And Vader comes up. And all of a sudden, here comes Steve Austin with a chair. And he chases off Psycho Sid and Vader. And he helps up Big Show. And Big Show kind of looks at Office, and he's just like, all right, man, yeah. Like, thanks for saving my ass, you know. I appreciate that. And that's that segment. The segment got 100. It's basically Steve Austin coming to save the Big Show once again. The Big Show showing his stinks. We move on to the next segment. Yes. So Jericho goes in, and he goes, what is this? What is this crap that I have to fight Goldust here tonight? You know? And now I got to spin this stupid-ass wheel to determine what type of match I'm going to have? And Shane's just like, yeah, man, that's the whole concept of Raw Roulette, you know? It's the fun of it. And Jericho's like, that's the stupidest fucking idea I've ever heard in my life. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Not only do I have to fight a freak like Goldust, who keeps going around and saying he's rated X because he loves sex. That's stupid. That's the stupidest gimmick I've ever heard. You're stupid. Everybody's stupid. And all that. And basically, Shane's just like, well, Jericho, if you're scared, you can forfeit the match, you know? And Jericho's like, no, I'm the best in the world at what I do, and what I do is wrestle. I'm the best wrestler in the world, and I'm here to prove that I'm the best wrestler in the world. And Shane kind of cuts him off, and he's just like, well, so far, you haven't proved that at all. You have proved that you're just a crybaby and a loser. I signed you here to the World Wrestling Federation from WCW for a reason, and so far you're just showing that you're just a second-tier wrestler. And Jericho kind of gets upset, and he spins the wheel. He's like, fine. He spins the wheel, and all of a sudden it lands on a lingerie match. And Jericho's like, what the hell? A lingerie match? He's like, what the hell is a lingerie match? And Shane McMahon's like, well, it was a special match requested by Goldust, and funny enough, you land on it, but both men have to wrestle in women's lingerie, and the first one to rip off all the lingerie from your opponent wins the match. And Jericho's like, I'm not going to wrestle in this type of match. And Shane's like, if you don't do it, he's like, you're fired. I'm going to fire you right now. And Jericho's like, fine, I'll do it. So Goldust goes to the ring first with Chyna. You know, Goldust is wearing like a thong and like a leather, like something that Chyna would wear, you know, like the leather bra and a leather thong and stuff like that. And Goldust is rubbing his body and all that. And Jericho comes out. And when Jericho comes out, he's wearing this wrestling gear. And he just has like his regular gear on and stuff like that. And the referee won't start the match. The referee won't start the match at all. And then the referee then like hands Jericho like a bra and panty, and Jericho kind of like slips it on. You know, this is like the comedy match and everything like that. And the match gets underway, and Jericho just goes straight to Goldust and whoops his ass the whole match. And rips off Goldust, and after that, I can't do a lingerie match with men, so I just had to do a regular match. But Goldust wins. He beats Goldust. Jericho wins. He beats Goldust. He rips off all the lingerie, and after the match, he puts Goldust in a lion chamber, and Goldust is screaming, and Chyna tries to come in, and Jericho kind of just slides out the ring and everything, and he's just like, I'm not going to be humiliated anymore. I'm not going to be humiliated. You know? And he's like, I'm the best damn wrestler in the world, and blah, 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 blah. And that is that segment. We're going to move on to the next segment. And it is the hype up to the King of the Ring of the final four of the King of the Ring. We have Owen Hart, Kurt Angle, Triple H, and The Rock. Owen Hart basically trying to prove to his older brother Bret that he is not a disgrace, that he can also become a two-time King of the Ring winner just like Bret. Owen has a lot to prove. Bret has been putting Owen through hell and back, saying that Owen's not good enough. Owen always chokes. Will Owen prove his brother wrong at King of the Ring and beat his opponent, Kurt Angle, and the winner of The Rock and Triple H in the finals, and win King of the Ring and face his brother Bret at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship? Or will it be Kurt Angle, the young rookie who won the 1996 Olympic gold medal for freestyle wrestling? He has been on an undefeated streak. He's been on a tear. He's beat the likes of Owen Hart and pretty much anybody that the company puts in front of Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle has been training relentlessly for this matchup. He knows that Owen Hart is one hell of a competitor. And these two men's rivalry goes on more than you could possibly even think. But a bigger rivalry than Owen Hart and Kurt Angle is the rivalry of Triple H and The Rock. These two men hate each other. These two men hate each other more than anybody else in the company. The Rock, just being the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship multiple times, has never picked up a pinfall victory over Triple H. It seems like Triple H always has The Rock's number somehow, some way. The Rock cannot pick up a win over Triple H. Will The Rock's bad luck over Triple H continue, or will he beat Triple H, the Intercontinental Champion Triple H, and win the King of the Ring, becoming one of the youngest King of the Ring winners in history, and go on and main event SummerSlam and win the WWF Championship, becoming the youngest WWF Champion in history also? Basically, if The Rock wins the King of the Ring, it is just full-on history here. The Rock will be the youngest King of the Ring winner, the youngest WWF Champion if he wins. I mean, it's going to be one hell of a thing. The Rock is probably one of our biggest stars in the company, but somebody who is even bigger than The Rock is Triple H. Triple H basically said his time is now. He is tired of waiting in the shadows. He is tired of not being in the main event. His time is now. He wants the main event matches. He proved time and time again that he can put on quality matches. We've seen it here ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, that he can put on some main event level matches here in the World Wrestling Federation. He says that he is tired of being Intercontinental Champion. He is ready to be the World Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Champion. And he doesn't care who he has to beat to get to that. And he says that it's just an honor. He says it's a privilege that he can beat The Rock one more time and humiliate The Rock before moving on to the finals and claiming the King of the Ring crown for himself. Will that happen? We will have to find out this Sunday at King of the Ring. We are less than 6 days away from King of the Ring. And this is going, these three matches on King of the Ring is probably going to be some of the best rated matches in our company's history so far since starting this save. I'm super excited for King of the Ring. I hope y'all are excited for King of the Ring too. We are going to move on to our main event here tonight. And it is Shawn Michaels taking on Davey Boy Smith. This is the first match since the return of HBK Shawn Michaels, and he defeats Davey Boy Smith in a cage match when Shawn Michaels escapes the cage. He hits him with a sweet chin music, and he climbs out the cage. He beats Davey Boy, and after the match, Shawn Michaels is going to go up the ramp, and Bret Hart comes out, and they have a stare down at the ramp. Security comes out, and they try to hold these two men back, but both men are not moving. Both men are not throwing a strike. Both men are just staring each other down. These two men hate each other. We know how much Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart hates each other. And this match at King of the Ring is probably going to be one of the biggest main event matches in our company's history. This is probably going to be the biggest pay-per-view of all time in this save for the World Wrestling Federation. I hope I do not jinx myself whatsoever, but I am planning on trying to get a 100 rating in this pay-per-view with all the matches that we have planned for the pay-per-view. Hopefully we can pull off some big numbers. We are going to go ahead and finish the show. The show got a 94. Creestar Pop and Canada, 5 regions, but we need a better TV deal for Canada. we are going to go ahead and finish the show, guys. We thank y'all for watching the video. For those of y'all watch the video, thank y'all for liking the video. For those of y'all like the video, it helps out the channel a lot. Thank y'all for leaving a comment down below. For those of y'all comment, I try to get back to it as soon as I can. I love talking to people. I love interacting with people and commenting back and seeing y'all's opinion on how everything is going. If y'all are liking my booking style or whatnot and the stories that I'm telling. I like hearing what y'all have to say about it. It seems like whoever this guy is, he got a bruised eye socket last night, and he's not expected to miss any dates, but let's see about Bradshaw here. Farouk. He's going to be out for a few weeks, kind of like Edge. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But a lot of our guys are getting injured here. It looks like Harlem Heat won the WCW Tag Team titles. Let's check out that. Harlem Heat beat Nash and Hall in a cage match. Ric Flair defeats the Barbarian. Chris Benoit defeats Buff Bagwell. Jim Duggan and DDP defeat the Amazing French Canadians. Lex Luger, Barry Windham, Glacier and the Nasty Boys, and the pre-show Men at Work defeat Sweet and Sour. Not a bad Nitro, but thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for liking. If y'all are new to the channel and want to subscribe, the subscribe icon should be over the Monday Night Raw logo. And if y'all like this episode and want to go back and catch up before the King of the Ring, the playlist will be right here. Drop a comment down below letting me know who do y'all think is going to win the King of the Ring. I would like to see who y'all think and why this person will win the King of the Ring. I'm Dylan Villain. And like we always say, guys, if you can't play with each other,
play with yourself.
See y'all in the next one.